We only have 20 minutes.
All right, it's live.
We're live right now, John?
We're live. Let me test the link that you tweeted out and see if it works. I'll turn it off real fast. Oh, I've got my... It's so... Oh, it is working.
That's all we can do, John.
Okay. Boy, Eminem's new album got ripped on.
Well, understandably.
Is it not good? I listened to some of it. I like the one song I listened to, but right, he's kind of...
One song, yeah.
It was the one produced by King Abrock and Rick Rubin. I thought it was pretty good.
Oh,
you know what he did was he took the... I started reading the reviews where they were ripping on him.
John, that hat looks like it's like a Dodgers hat. I'm about to...
it is. It's a Dodgers hat.
Oh, gosh.
Here, let me draw it in.
Hey, by the way, we can see the Dodgers play the Cubs.
Oh, yeah?
Pre-Isty.
I know the White Sox are in town. That would be cool.
One shot.
John, if you had one shot, what would you do with that
What would you do with that one shot? I don't know.
You get a picture with Michael Jordan. That's what you do with that one.
John, edit here.
Wait. No. Not yet. Not yet. I'm not ready yet, John.
Okay. All right. What are you gearing up?
I'm a diva. Come on, John. I'm a diva. I'm not ready yet.
All right, Mariah, tell me when you're ready. Or else I'm going to bring on...
What?
I'll turn him on. You won't shut him up. He'll go, yeah.
I'll just run an update on it in the last second.
Yeah, no kidding. Boy, I have updates on it all the time. I'm like, you think you've got everything set for Robotics Club, and then, the update kicks in. You're like,
The update.
Curse you update. John. Ready?
Yeah.
Edits. Make sure you play your royalty-free. John, edit here. Hello, and welcome to Grumpy Old Teachers New Year. What's going on? Hey there. Look at that. I've got sound effects.
John.
We've upgraded it.
This is... How many years have we done this before?
So, Scott, this is the third year in a row that we've done this into the New Year's, as it's 20 minutes away from the New Year.
John,
and my Apple Watch just went off and said, "You've reached your goal." What goal was that?
Sitting there for hours?
Sitting there. You've done it 3 years in a row of Grumpy Old Teachers on New Year's.
Oh my
there
God.
It is.
I can't believe... John, have we done this for 3 years?
We have. I actually looked it up.
Oh my goodness.
Third year.
Gosh.
I'm John Samuelson. Yeah, we are getting old. We're definitely old. I'm John Samuelson. I'm in Portland, Oregon. Down there is Scott Bedley.
I'm in the South Bay.
He's in the South Bay, or as we like to call it, the OC, Orange County.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. All day long, funky cold Medina. And we're sitting here. I normally don't do this, but I'm actually drinking on air right now. They have new pear cider at IKEA.
Wait, stop. Don't do that, John.
I know, it's evil. But it is literally 0.1. It is 0.1% of alcohol. So
that's the kombucha I'm drinking.
It's like kombucha, basically.
From Costco. I think it's like
IKEA kombucha.
0.001% or something like that. But they have to disclaim it for whatever reason. I don't know why.
We have all different kinds of we love kombucha up here in Oregon. So do you know that they have some that you can buy? Yeah, I know that's shocking. But what we have is they have some at the stores where you can literally buy the fermented alcoholic kombucha. They have it distinguished there. So there you go.
As my son would say, winner, chicken orzo dinner.
There you go. Does he really say that?
Either that or winner, stinky artichoke dinner.
Okay, that's not bad. He's got a good vocabulary.
He's a first grader, so
that's right. That's impressive for a first grader. Of course, he did go out for that great sushi dinner. with us.
Well, he did. That's for sure. He loves
That's
the
right.
sushi.
Yep, I let him play my Pokemon Go.
You raised him right.
Yes, yeah. I wish. You know that Gwen is right over here on my shoulder, my oldest daughter, and she did actually eat California rolls when she was little, and I feel like she's trying to get it back. Are you trying to get it back a little bit, Gwen? You trying to get back to the sushi a little bit?
Oh, yeah.
Bring it back.
Yeah, she is. She's trying to bring it back to the California roll. That's where you got to start. You got to start somewhere.
You
California roll.
You do, John. And the California roll is, although it's faux crab, at least it's some animal that lived in the sea at one point.
That's right. That's right. Well, we are the grumpy old teachers. I don't know. I feel like
Get off my lawn.
we've also got the playlist going. So we have our second Spotify playlist that we will take a look at, where Scott and I pick 3 songs each, 3 old songs because we're old. And then we also pick 3 new songs. And I've noticed that Scott doesn't I have to reach kind of for my new songs because I feel like I get stuck listening. Like sometimes I'll be driving in the car because I'm a TOSA, teacher out at Starbucks all the time. And I'll be driving from Starbucks to school to kind of like make an appearance.
That's the acronym?
Yes, that's the acronym. Teacher out at Starbucks all the time.
John, I didn't know that's what it meant. Like that's
You should be
shocking.
one. You should be one.
Well, no one's invited me to the club.
Oh, okay. You know what? I'm going to have to get Ann Cosma on that right away because she's the official TOSA inviter of all districts on the West Coast. So there we go.
When she's not taking selfies, right? John?
When she's not taking selfies, Ben Cogswell also, he can get you in. He can just go, bless you, TOSA, and then you're a TOSA. And then you don't get anything extra except that you're just out at Starbucks. But I noticed that when I'm driving from Starbucks to make an appearance at a school like I'm working, it'd just be like, I just come in and wave a little bit and go, oh yeah, hi kids, how you doing? I noticed that like the Dexys Midnight Runners is on a little bit sometimes, like am I going back? Am I going back to the 80s station too much? I don't know. So anyway, I think I only have one new station on mine, and it's like all alternative other stuff, right? They play like, Portugal the Man.
Yeah, and some of the new alt indie rock is like, really, sounds a lot like 80s reprise indie rock.
Speaking of reprise rock, I have a check this out Old Techlandia Steam Team purchase for you, and it's called.
Wait, is this with Kurt and Allison? Because
yeah,
I'm gonna freak out because that Kurt sent that meme to us, John. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, I did see that one. It's not true.
Give it to me, John.
Kurt wishes it was true. It's not true. Anyway, I think that the new game for you, if you want to buy it, is Drop Mix. Have you seen Drop Mix, the game? Have you seen this, Scott Bedley?
I haven't. Is this anything like? No, I haven't seen that.
Okay, so check this out because we just got it out tonight.
Wait. Did you get permission from Brian to use check?
No, I'm just right. I just give them you know what? I like to give mentions of other podcasts.
Okay.
Even though sometimes Brian forgets that he's like on one with me, and like he could mention that one when Check This Out gets all of its end of the year best accolades. He could say, I also have another one called the Steam Team with Sam Johnilson over there, but he doesn't.
Wow, that 1%'s really getting that zero. That 0.01% is really getting to you, John.
That 0.1% has made me feisty. But so Drop Mix is really cool. And so what it does is it's a game board that you can use with your phone. We hooked it up to a Bluetooth speaker, and you get these cards, and they're different colors, and you lay them on a little tray, and like somehow with Bluetooth and batteries in your phone, you can go like, here, I'm laying down this Imagine Dragons Radioactive Vocals, and it'll start singing the thing. And then you can go, okay, I'm playing the Bruno Mars Rainbow 24 Karat Magic card. And then it'll just stop everything because it's the rainbow. Because let's face it, Bruno Mars is magic.
Well,
And
you totally lost Sarah Boucher on the even mention of Imagine Dragons right there.
oh, right, I know. Well, I lost her because she was like, "Well, why would you ruin the Imagine Dragons with mixing it with Bruno Mars?"
Yeah,
You know,
totally.
right? She's like, "I can't even fathom that." She would just play one card, and it would just be the Imagine Dragons radioactive card, which wouldn't be a fun game. But so what it does is,
Feel the
you,
thunder.
yeah. Well, I don't. I think I have to buy that in the pack. It does have radioactive, which is kind of fun. So anyway, you can play all these different cards. So you can go like, here, I've got a Tribe Called Quest scenario, and it'll lay down the vocals, and then you can go, I've got 24 karat magic, and then it'll mix that in. And so it's like you're DJing with these cards, and they're color coded, and you can put in the guitar bass lines and all this stuff. It's pretty awesome.
That's really cool.
Drop mix.
So what's the scenario?
Right. So then I'm like, my kids are like jamming out. So like they're like, we want to dance music or whatever. I'm like, hey kids, Father John has bought some cool thing. And so then we went there and I hooked it up to the Bluetooth. I'm like, watch this. 24 karat magic in the air.
24 karat magic.
And of course then everybody started like fighting over like playing cards. And then I would be like, I've got a good little riff going here. And then of course, like, the 5-year-old would come in and chunk down, something stupid. And I'm like, oh God, don't take off the scenario, dude. Come on, man.
Yeah, don't take off the scenario.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Don't.
But so it has some cool stuff. So it's you have to drop. Speaking of 24 karat magic, you might have to rob the bank a little to get it. It is $100. So it is there.
That game is $100?
It's $100, my friend. That includes 60 cards. So like we bought a couple booster packs. So those are like $5 each too.
Wow.
They got you.
They did get you, John.
Mm-hmm.
Wait,
but you know what else?
Let me ponder that. $100.
$100. It was almost the price of this
that young
Dash
John
robot.
Samuelson. You were hanging out with Michael Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
$100 takes you places that were unimaginable.
In 86, sure. 85, 86, yeah. I think that was 85 when I took that picture with Michael Jordan. 1985, wow. If I could go back and talk to 1985 me, I don't even know what I would say. I would just say, hey, try not to drink so much Mountain Dew.
Really, John? That's all you'd say?
That's all I'd say. I'd be like, quit
you wouldn't
drinking.
Say don't move to Alaska?
No, I loved moving to Alaska. It was great. I loved moving to Alaska.
I'm just checking.
If I didn't move to Alaska, I wouldn't have little laugh track behind me here. You're sitting at the computer. She's kind of chuckling.
Well,
I can't tell if she's listening or if she's just laughing at me or with me. I don't know. Hopefully she's laughing with me. Probably with me. But more likely at me. She's a teenager. So let's go ahead. Who would you like to give a big thank you to in 2017? What are you thankful for?
John,
Scott Bedley, by the way,
these are thank yous.
These are, you want to do real thank yous or you like to do thank yous first?
I'd like to do some thank yous first.
Okay, let's do some thank yous. Okay, go ahead.
John, thank you to all the education authors. I'm doing this, John.
Okay.
Thank you to all the education authors who've provided us with so much in-depth information to really help us make an impact in our classroom. So thank you.
I gave them a golf clap instead of regular. Wait, let's see the difference between
golf. That was for you, buddy, by the way.
There's not much difference between audience clap. That's audience. Oh, yeah, okay. Golf clap is a little bit less. Yeah, I mean, there's been some great books this year that...
It's not an education. No, there has been some fantastic books in education.
There's been well, you know what? I will give you my favorite book. My favorite book is, and I'm still reading it, is Lifelong Kindergarten.
Okay,
it's Resnick, and I feel like that's a cool one. But right, I feel like there's a lot of books being written. I don't know if they need to be written. I don't know if we all need a voice. These are the problems we get to with the interwebs, isn't it? Everybody has a voice, which is great, but then when you think about it, everybody has a voice, and you're like, I didn't need to hear that. I don't know if I want to hear that.
So, John, I mean, what reasons should somebody have a voice? Like, I mean,
Yeah.
I know we talk about this a lot, maybe too much, but why should somebody have a voice in education? Like, what makes their voice important for educators across America, administrators, TOSAs, classroom teachers? What makes it important for them to actually be heard?
I don't know. I mean, that's a good question. I feel like a lot of us like to be heard, but I don't really feel like we're saying anything of substance. I mean, I feel like if we had a resolution for 2018 just as educational people, I really feel like we should push the bar a little bit and try and not go with the status quo, but make some waves. Like I was telling you this kind of started from our conversation where I was sometimes, Scott, people ask you to go speak in Europe for TED Talks, but people ask me, they say, can you give us 100 words on the state of education for this article? And we're asking 100 other educators. And you're like, I'm like, sure, I'd be honored because why wouldn't I be?
Well, John, you probably got more reads on your 100 that I've got views.
No, we should take a tally of how many people. I know you check that daily. You've got to check your YouTube daily.
Oh, I check it. Dude, are you kidding, man? I'm like up to 157.
No, that's good. You're at 149.
I have no idea, honestly. I have no
but so anyway, I when I was saying that when I did the 100 words on education, I just feel like we can't keep going on with these Twitter chats, these platitudes, these things that really don't mean, like, I really don't want to hear on my Twitter, like, hey, wake up and make the day, it's awesome. What's the weather like? Let's do this or whatever. Let's go change the world. I feel like a lot of people say that, but I don't feel like when they have the opportunity that they actually do say that. I feel like there's a lot of people that might have the opportunity to say something to people of importance in education, people who might be above their pay grade in education. I feel like they don't do it. I feel like they just kind of chicken out. I feel like there's a lot of happy talk on Twitter and there's happy things being shared, but I'm not sure if it's, I'm not sure if it's that revolutionary. I mean, right. Like, I don't mean to always pick on Flipgrid, but I'll pick on Flipgrid.
Hey, by the way, John, it's 4 minutes until 2018.
Oh, okay. Here,
I don't want to miss this.
I've got the counter.
I think we missed
3 minutes,
the last
51
3 years.
seconds.
Okay, good.
Okay, I've got the official timer.
Okay, good.
It's 3:46. So, but so anyway, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like in 2018, I feel like if there are people like, I'm kind of in that little wedge right now as a TOSA because I can go and meet with, people that are higher up in my district at Starbucks. And I don't know. I don't always give them the answer that they want to hear. I don't. And I try and make things, as politely as I can. I try and say, we need to kind of go forward with this. We need to do something different. We need to not always make the safe decision. We need to not worry about X, whatever it is. We need to do this because it's what's right, and we need to do this. And I don't feel like there's enough people doing that. I feel like there's a lot of people on Twitter writing books. Like, for instance, a person that writes a book on how great everything is, but yet they're like an assistant principal in their school and their website hasn't even been updated for 3 years. You know what I'm saying? I feel like there's a lot of phonies out there. And in 2018, I wish that these people that were actually kind of have these platforms, instead of just being like, oh yeah, you know what, I'm going to sell some t-shirts, or oh yeah, I'm going to run a marathon, or whatever. Instead of like doing all this stuff, I feel like we should be like, why don't we make a change? And if you're an administrator, Tim Lauer said it to me best the other day when we were eating, you can get bogged down.
Wait, John. Wait. Don't do it, because we're gonna start a new thing that's part of the show with Tim Lauer.
Oh, okay.
Does Tim know this?
I don't think so.
Well, Tim, we've got a new segment that's part of the show that's called Learning with Lauer. And
Oh,
we're
okay.
going to take your wisdom, Tim Lauer, and we're going to try to communicate it, and we're going to totally mess it up. And
Okay.
that's how it's going to roll.
Okay.
But John,
So
I think what you're talking about is kind of like mansplaining, but it's admin-splaining.
there you go. It is. It's admin-splaining, right? It's like we're making excuses. If you've risen up to the point where you're an administrator of a building, you can make change. And I guess I won't go into what Tim Lauer says, but you can make change. He doesn't buy into the, oh, I've got to deal with this, and this. You can get bogged in dealing with student,
Tim Lauer
discipline.
does not make excuses. He just
He
says,
doesn't.
get it done.
Yeah.
That's like a that's like a learning with Tim.
Yeah.
Like this is a learning with Lauer moment, John, where you just, as an administrator, as a teacher, as whoever, you just make things happen. Right.
He said,
hey, let's get a clock count, John. What are we
43 seconds. We're at 43 seconds. I'm watching.
44, 42, 41.
You're off. You're off. I've got to rate.
CNN's like at 55. I'm
So anyway, I know. Are we like the new? You know what? Kathy Griffin's from Oak Park. So
Kathy Griffin's gone. It's now Andy and Anderson.
I know, but so you can be Anderson. I'll be Kathy Griffin because they were funnier. And Kathy Griffin's graduated from my high school, Oak Park River Forest. So
well, Anderson Cooper's a good-looking guy. So
he's a good-looking dude. I know. That's why I was trying to give you the good-looking guy one.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah. Well, so as the last 5 seconds roll off of the new year, what are your thoughts?
John, I just
Happy New Year, by the way. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, John. I look forward to 2018 because 7, 6, 5, 4, 3,
oh, mine's counting up now.
2, 1. Happy New Year.
Oh, I'm already 17 seconds. Do we get a different time clock in Portland than you do in Orange County?
I've got the cable delay down here. Everybody's kissing on TV. It's fantastic, John.
You know what? We're kind of like, I always think of when we do these shows, we're like When Harry Met Sally, right? Oh yeah, here, and we'll give each other a little hug and little bro hug and
bro hug,
awkward bro hug.
Well, it's not that awkward anymore, John. We've had enough bro hugs.
So anyway, I guess I haven't really sarcastically thanked anyone.
Sarcastically thank somebody, John, please.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, in 2017, thank you, people that really overshare way too much about their life. I really find all the things that you do interesting, and I'm really happy for you that you feel comfortable sharing all of these personal details about your life with people that you kind of know or kind of don't know. I don't know, but thanks for oversharing. I appreciate getting 10 different posts in Instagram in my feed per day. But you could take it down to just one, and that would be enough. But no, 10 is really good. That's a good number. 10, 15. And also thank you people that tweet over like 150 times a day. That's really helpful too, by the way. Thank you. Thank you for telling me that Control C copies. Thank you for those helpful tips. Can I have a video on how to copy text? Thanks.
Yeah, thank you in this new year, John. I am so hopeful and so thankful that in 2017 there were people that were actually using Flipgrid, because I didn't think it was going to catch on with anyone.
I wasn't sure. But there it is. Flipgrid is right there. You know, Flipgrid is and Flipgrid is fine, but it's like, right, I'm glad that you're using Flipgrid, but I don't need to hear about it every 2 hours on a buffer. I just don't. Because then if I do, then I kind of look at you and go, and then I flush your Twitter feed down the toilet and put you on mute.
Hit the mute.
Hit the mute.
Is that one of your resolutions for 2018? Oh no, that was 2012.
What was that? Hit the
You're
mute
hitting the
button.
mute button on a lot of people.
You know what I was just talking about that was kind of I thought was interesting, and I know that you have many Las Vegas stories, but I was watching Las Vegas a little bit. I think Kelly Rowland was there. Kelly Rowland, right on. I love that.
Okay.
She's
Yeah.
keeping. Beyonce kicked her out, but she's still going. But for Las Vegas, like going down onto the strip on New Year's Eve, which I've done more times than I care
I've
to
done it. I've
admit.
done it too, John.
It's not very fun, is it, Scott? I mean, even when I was younger, even when I was 20 years younger, I don't really think I had that much fun. I was always kind of scared for my life.
By the way, Tim Lauer is tweeting out Happy New Year from Portland. Hope it's a great one.
Oh, well, he can speak for the whole city.
He can. He's
Yes,
the mayor.
we've given him that. Right. He is the mayor, the Samuel L. Jackson of Portland. He can do whatever he wants.
But no, John, I honestly think that Las Vegas is maybe one of the best places to be for New Year.
Really?
I completely disagree with you on this one.
Really? I really didn't ever have fun being crowded in. You have to walk. I don't know. The huge crowds. I feel like people were always like throwing stuff, trying to hit people in crowds, climbing up poles. I don't know.
I think that happens quite a bit.
No, I'm talking about like street lamps. Like I'm not talking about those.
Yeah, everything.
Yeah.
It's crazy in Vegas. Yeah,
Well,
I've wandered the streets.
I feel like one of my better ones, I was actually in Inglewood, one of my most memorable New Year's Eves. Yeah, I saw 311, the Foo Fighters, and Red Hot Chili Peppers in the Millennium. You probably were at that concert.
You were at the Forum.
Yeah, I was at the Fabulous Forum.
Yeah, it's not so fabulous, though.
I always liked the Forum.
It's not bad. It's just not fabulous.
No, it's not. It's not as fabulous as it used to be, but it was fabulous back in the day.
It's not as fabulous as that hat on your head, Joe.
I think the last concert I saw at the Fabulous Forum was the Beastie Boys.
Really?
Yeah, I think that was the last one I traveled to LA to go and see. It was the Beastie Boys on the Hello Nasty tour with Mixmaster Mike. Awesome show. Everybody, that was when I used to go to Urban Outfitters, Scott, and everybody at Urban Outfitters was like stunned that I got tickets to the Beastie Boys. I'm like, I don't know. They thought I was cool, and I was like, wow, the people on Santa Monica Urban Outfitters think I'm cool? Wow, maybe I am cool.
Hey, John,
but
what's your favorite New Year's Eve music song? Like, let's reveal a little bit of the playlist.
Oh, okay. I don't know. So I went with some of my playlist. I went with people from that. So the other concert that I went to the next year, that I took a young single teacher to, I ended up making her the mother of my children. We went to see Blue.
You did do that, John.
Yeah, we did do that. It was Blink 182 and Weezer was the next year.
Oh, all right.
That's a good year show, and that was in San Diego.
I don't blame you for that show. That's a great show.
That's a great show. So I feel like that was a good one, but I feel like I always kind of have I kind of took some of the songs off of those from those, like, and I tried to take songs that they would have actually played when I was there, so I didn't like try and cheat or anything. But I do like Weezer, and I put on Keep Fishing. You ever know that song? I tried to put on some maybe tracks that you didn't know from Weezer. Like I could have done like, the Sweater Song or whatever. Yeah. But I like Keep Fishing. I feel like that's kind of a rockin' tune.
Yeah, I was authentically thinking back. I was like, okay, what bands did I actually see on New Year's? And one of them was Dramarama, and I know probably everybody listening is like, "What, Dramarama? Who is that?" Honestly, John. But if you listen to the song "Anything Anything," it is a classic '80s hit. Truly.
Totally. When you told me to put that one on, I was like, "Oh yeah, I know that song." And
I saw them at this place called the Coach House in Orange County. They're local kind of guys. And they made it happen. It was awesome, man. It was great to see them on New Year's Eve.
That's cool. Hey, if anybody doubts that it's New Year's Eve when we're taping this, you can hear the fireworks going off in the old Portland, Oregon. Can you hear those at all or no?
I can hear that.
Okay,
Either
that's
that or
very
it's
cool.
like you kicking the table. One of the two.
No, well, Gwen is clicking her mouse profusely too, but which I told her not to do if she's going to stay in here with me. But that's okay. I'll cut her some slack for the new year. In fact, for the new year, Gwen, I mean, think about it. You have straight A's right now, pretty much. You have not failed anything yet, so that's good. She's not failed any classes yet. There you go. She says thanks. She's so she doesn't even listen to me anymore. She's like, thanks.
She's like, thanks, Dad.
Thanks, Dan. So I don't know. So that how about let's give a real thank you.
Okay.
A real thank you.
A real, not a thank you.
No, not a thank you.
I would love to give a real thank you to a few people, John.
Okay.
I'm going to start with somebody who's just over the last several years has been authentic and real. And I'm super thankful for this guy. And he's up in Portland, Oregon. And John, that is you, John. John Samuelson, I am thankful. I'm thankful for you, man. Thank you. Thank you, John Samuelson, for trying to do and be and make the impact that you make. And I appreciate you, man.
Oh, thanks. Well, you know the feeling goes both ways. Do you have any like real thank yous though?
That was real.
Oh, that was real. Okay. I don't know. I'm trying to think of who I don't know, like personally who I don't know. There's so many good people. There are so many good people out there.
Yeah.
I mean, we should thank Christina Luce, our one listener. Thank you, Christina Luce.
Well, I think Tim Bedley might be listening to.
Tim Bedley?
I don't think he's listening tonight.
No, Tim's not listening.
In fact,
he's not even like emailing people.
I'm angry with you, Tim Bedley.
Tim Bedley.
Your little brother's angry with you.
That's right. Well, you should be.
I should be. He's on that keto diet, John.
Yeah.
And all the dude all he eats, he like actually, I've seen him. He trims out the fat off the bacon. That's all he eats. It's just bacon fat. All like
that's
breakfast,
the best part. That's the best
lunch
part,
and dinner on this keto diet. All he eats is the bacon fat, and I'm angry with him because that's just disgusting at some point.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but the guy, he's jacked and he only weighs like $140.
$140, and he's going on a diet. Like,
right,
how's that work?
Yeah,
that's
that
not
makes
fair for us guys that are around 200.
That's right. I blew way past 200 a long time ago.
Around 200, John.
That's right.
Around 200.
Well, I think Tim Bedley is great. I'd give Tim Bedley a thank you.
What? How dare you?
But I'm going to hold the thank you until he emails everybody about the Global School Playday thing that he was supposed to do, right? That's what he needs to do.
He does need to do that.
So when we talk about Global School Playday, people, we are super close, and I need to start. I'm actually starting to share links out too. Remember, Global School Playday is coming in February, so we're rolling close to it. So just go to the website.
Hey, John, at New Year's, there's nearly 100,000 kids registered to play for this event. It's like, and that's like doubles any kind of numbers, maybe even triples. I have to look back, but it definitely is like blows away any numbers from the past. And we're really hoping to get at least 500,000, if not closer to 1 million kids playing this year. So
if they would, you know what, if I brought in Drop Mix, there'd be a lot more kids playing.
Or George Couros.
Yeah, or George Couros. Just bring in George Couros and have him entertain
if he
the
would
kids.
Just tweet it one time, it would be like.
Has George Couros not tweeted for Global School Playday?
No, never. Are you kidding?
You know what? That'll be my one service to Global School Playday. I will get George Couros to tweet. I think I have that kind of savoir-faire with
he
George.
Tweeted one time, if like somebody like Todd Neslony would tweet one time about Global School Playday, somebody that like Eric Scheniger, if he would tweet like one time, like
these guys aren't tweeting about Global School Playday.
All these Edge of Famous people, if they would just tweet one time about this event,
right?
It would change lives for kids.
Can they just?
It would make things matter more than ever, John.
See, these are the kind of things that we're talking about. Do something that actually kind of matters. Take a stand and say, you know what? We believe in play. We don't believe in all these test scores. We believe in play. Go into your buffer, change one of your tweets about your new book.
Right.
Or whatever new scheme that you're plotting, whatever marketing scheme that you're plotting, you
have some guts to make
guts and just do something to help some people. Yeah, you know who would totally do it is Sarah the teacher.
She would.
Yeah. So let's just ask Sarah the teacher. You know who else would? Tony Vincent.
Tony Vincent, again, another person I love that's out there, in the ed tech world and education world in general.
You know who else would? Wes Fryer. Wes Fryer's great.
Wes and Shelley Fryer are such amazing people. I'm so thankful. John, thank you for mentioning Wes and Shelley Fryer. I mean, they're awesome. I love them.
Yeah, they're great. There's some really people that were just there are people out there I think that they're edgy famous, but they also would like just to see some change.
Oh, totally.
Right?
Totally.
And Wes Fryer was old school. I remember when Wes Fryer wrote his book way before anybody else.
Way a long time.
Way before. He's a trendsetter. Tony Vincent, you think he's good at the iPad? That dude was teaching with Palm Pilots. Come on, man. He's been doing it. He's been doing that forever.
1972?
Yeah. 1972, he wasn't even born yet, but
I mean, that's very true.
Right? But Tony Vincent in the early 2000s.
I was born.
I was born in 2000s. I was alive.
I was born before 72.
I was born before 72 too. But so, I mean, Tony Vincent, definitely Palm Pilot. There's not just a reason that he knows all this stuff. It's because he's been living it for 2 decades. That's why.
Hey, John, we're now into 2018. So
what's changed?
It's resolution time. So if you were to make some resolutions, not for you, John, but for some administrators, or for teachers, or even for TOSAs, John, what would your resolutions for those people be? I want to hear this.
Oh, man.
Have you thought this deeply?
I have not thought about this deeply. What are a resolution? Well, I've got a bone to pick with administrators always. That's never changed in all my years of teaching. I think in 2018, administrators, I feel like you should not think that you know everything. I feel like you should not think that, I feel like you shouldn't control everything. I feel like you should not act like you know everything. I feel like you should be lifelong learners, and you should actually, like when we say lifelong learners, like you and I, that's because we really like to learn stuff. Like I can pick up this and go, yeah, I want to learn more about how to do this. Or I can go over to this and I go, yeah, I got those new Bloxels cards. I should learn how to integrate Bloxels more as storytelling. There's things that I always want to learn. I'm not sure that I think some administrators get there and they get comfortable and they kind of think, oh yeah, I'm going to kind of keep the ship the way it's been going. How about this? Why don't you steer the ship off course and try and do something differently and maybe not have that staff meeting this year and do something different? Or, I don't know, but try something different. Or don't say that you don't have the money the next time a teacher asks you to buy something for them. Find the darn money and quit making them do donors chooses and let them have it and let your good teachers go and give them the freedom to go.
John, here's my resolution for anybody that has any control over money decisions in education. Your resolution needs to be, this is not your money. Let it go. Let it go. Let the teachers, let the kids, let whoever it is, just let the money go and let them choose to use it how they need to.
Right.
Make that resolution, please.
Yes. Gosh, just let it. What? And then it's like people hold on to it so long, then they're like dying to spend it on whatever at the end of the year.
Right.
You know, and it's
They
just
buy a bunch of junk and then nobody uses it.
right. Then they're like, oh, okay, here, oh, I'll bring in this person to give professional development, even though I don't know really who it is. Or right, heaven forbid you set aside some money and send a teacher to a conference so they could learn some things, right? I mean, and then actually, you know, go and say, hey.
For teachers, John, their resolution needs to be to mention wine less. Don't talk about wine so much.
Right.
Wine or coffee. Just maybe half the mentions of wine and coffee.
Yeah.
During the new year.
Gosh. Or just quit whining. That's what I'd like to see too. Quit whining. As we go on, let's go ahead. Would you like to talk about some that kind of fits with our Tim Lauer talk? Would you like to give some lessons from Lauer or some learning with Tim Lauer?
Yeah, I mean, John,
he did just speak for Portland.
I'm so thankful for Tim Lauer and the wisdom he brings. But John, what wisdom has he brought to you that's really impacted you the most?
I think that, you know, we just went out to eat on Thursday. So I'm going to go ahead and
hashtag name drop.
Go ahead and name drop that one. And I also went with a young Allison Anderson. By the way,
wow. Lucky you, man! Wow, seriously?
Yeah, it was and Jay.
I would have flown up there for that.
And a great principal from Dallas, Oregon, Jamie Richardson.
What?
Yeah, he's really good. He in fact won an Administrator of the Year award last year.
Oh, those award people. Stay away from them, John.
So I will tell you this right now. Do you know that Jamie Richardson, and I have to look, I probably have to look at it again. So he puts this now in its second year, and I totally want to steal this idea, and kind of reminds me of you with a little toss fair action. But what he's done is, you know, the Rube Goldberg machines that like have been made famous by OKGo, and the person that you set me up with on the Skype call that does what was that app called for the Rube Goldberg machines? You know what that one's called? Do you remember? I'm putting you on the spot. You forgot. So you're muted. You know that you're muted, right?
Sorry. RubeWorks.
RubeWorks, right.
I said it like 3 times on the mute.
Okay. So that's good. You know, this is a podcast that you have to speak your voice. But so anyway, Jamie does this thing, and I could send you the videos for it because he sent them to me because he was judging. But he brought in these teams of kids to just on a Saturday, and it was just all volunteer, and they're hyping up this Rube Goldberg idea, and they had like 4 teams last year, and they just kind of come in and they build them right there. And they had 11 teams this year, so he was totally excited, and they try and make them bigger and better. But I feel like that's a cool idea. Like, see that, and he's a principal, he's an administrator, and he just goes in and does it because he loves it. And he also said that one of the things that he's doing for his teachers is, he said this will be the 3rd year in a row he's going to go to the Deeper Learning Conference down at High Tech High in Reuben Hoffman's area, because he's a big Reuben Hoffman fan.
Yeah, I wish I could join them.
I know it's over my spring break, so I don't know if I'm going to get down there for it, but I feel like I've got something already planned.
My open house, otherwise I'd be there.
So anyway, he's bringing down like 10 more teachers this year to the Deeper Learning Conference because he just feels like that's where it's at. So he's really trying for his teachers. That's what he and Jamie and Tim talked about. They talked about like trying to pressurize the system. Like if you have an elementary school like Tim had, Lewis Elementary, right, and you buy some little bits. First, until you buy little bits and you don't give the teacher, you just give them to the teachers, and you have money and you make the purchase for something they want, and Perfect. You just let them go. And eventually it spreads like wildfire throughout the school. And then all of a sudden when they get to middle school, the parents are like, hey, my elementary school had all this stuff. Why are you not kind of pushing, creativity and, Yeah, it's he said that's how you pressurize the system. You don't make excuses. You are a principal. You have money. You can buy what you want to buy. You can find the money somewhere. So that's a Tim Lauer, learning with Lauer right there. But I like how Tim, if you get, he's the super nicest person. Just nice, you know, you can great photographer if you watch his Instagram feed. But boy, I'm telling you, if you we were talking a little bit at our dinner, and he gets I makes me feel better because, you know, we sit here and joke that we're grouchy old teachers, and I mean, right. A lot of times I feel like the only grump that's out there, sometimes the only voice that, you know, grumps out there. But Tim, he gets fired up the same way I do. If you care, you get fired up.
You have a passion for education, and you see lame stuff happening.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why are very few people saying things about it? I mean, and John,
I don't know why are people scared, and why are people that we have that are writing these books then, and we'll keep going back to the books then, why are these book writers not actually willing to, some of them are not willing to take a stand? I don't want to see from my author, and you say it a lot, Scott, too, and I mean, we'll just say it, a lot of these authors that publish these books aren't really classroom teachers. I would not consider myself I'm not a real classroom teacher. I could go back at any minute, but I mean, I love my job right now, so I'm going to stay in it as long as they'll have me in my job. But let's say next year I'm in the classroom. I mean, there's a lot of people doing these speaking gigs and whatever, and publishing these books, but they're not even in the classroom, and I don't know how relevant that makes them for things. And Tim actually talked a little bit about that too, and was like, yeah, I mean, if you're not in the classroom, you can't really call yourself a classroom teacher. And these people, I don't want to see people on Instagram. I mean, there's a lot of these people I really like, but I don't want to see like day drinking, you know, at noon somewhere in, like, you know, the French Riviera, because that's what I see from a lot of these EduFamous people. It's like, are you really making a difference if you're like, hey, look at this, we're at, you know, Hops Brew Pub at, you know, 1 PM having a drink on the.
No, and then John, you have like first grade teacher at my school who's doing incredible things with her kids. We're buddies. My kids come in, we work together. Like, yet nobody would know at all the crazy, amazing things she's doing with her kids, because it frustrates me, but it's kind of reality. It's like, how do we work within the reality of this system?
Yeah. How do we work? I mean, if you're not going to sit there and brag about it on Twitter, it just seems like the people that will just pump you with all these tweets of just sayings and quote cards, and it just doesn't really do it. That just doesn't push the needle for me. It must push the needle for a lot of other people, though. They must want to know, like, hey, I got up in the morning and it's 46 degrees here in Portland, Oregon. What's the weather like where you're at today? Go make a difference. I don't need that stuff. I'm a grown man. I get my own motivation.
I'm 40 years old. I'm a man.
I'm 47 years old. Look at the gray in my beard.
Speaking of impact, how is Betsy DeVos? Is that DeVos? DeVos? How's she done
I call her DeVos.
last year? How has she done?
You know, my Alexa just went off on the Betsy DeVos. Trump, quit listening. Quit listening to me. Alexa just went off. Betsy DeVos is one of my keywords for Alexa. So I think that I've heard that Betsy is really going to quit. I don't think she's cut out for the job. I feel like in 2018, if I can make a prediction, I don't feel like she's going to last the year, to be honest with you. I really don't. I feel like
really?
I know, but I mean, I feel like she'll just step down. I feel like she realizes now that she's in way over her head. She's, you know, whatever she is. And I don't know. It seems like they tried to kind of crush the voucher thing for teachers, but then that didn't make it through. And I don't know. I just, it's hard to, like, when I used to get mad at Arnie Duncan, that was all in good, clean fun. I really thought Arnie Duncan was right. Old Arn. I really didn't think Arn was doing that much. But I mean, Betsy DeVos is almost just kind of like, it's laughable to me because she's just, I don't know. I mean, she just doesn't even have a. Whereas Arnie, I think, tried to perpetrate that he had a clue, and people are like, "Oh yeah, Arnie has a clue. He'll have an ed camp in the White House or whatever," and then he doesn't really, he just kind of shows up and makes a cameo appearance. It doesn't really experience.
Funny when you have a comparison.
Yeah,
and then you're like, wow, maybe Arnie wasn't so awful.
Yeah, I still think Arnie was terrible too, but he doesn't, like, his level of incompetence was staggering to me, but then, I mean, Betsy DeVos, it's just laughable. I mean, it's just like, she doesn't, in any world that, I mean, of course, I'm not a billionaire son or anything like that, but I mean,
it's just your opinions, not the opinions of any Beaverton school district.
No, I mean, I
like my school district. This is just our opinions, right? Personal.
I mean, yeah, I just don't think she just doesn't have a clue. I mean, it's not even whereas Arnie, I could make fun of him because he tried to act like he had a clue. I mean, she really doesn't know. I mean, I feel like she's just for privatizing education. I mean, that's all she's trying to do, right? She's just trying to kill public education,
right?
And then try and make all these people pay back all their horrible student loans at ridiculous rates so she can rake in the dough.
Yeah, it's not really complicated.
Yeah, that's what she stands for. So she's good at what she does. If those are her platforms, kill public education.
Hey, John, you know what I was thinking about? I know that you were really disappointed in 2017 that there wasn't enough selfies taken by some of the toasts out there.
I was.
And I really was hoping that you'd address that tonight. I know we only have a few minutes left.
Yes, we do. We only have a couple minutes. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I saw enough of Ben Cogswell. Like in a parking lot, like flying a drone.
Huh?
I'm not sure if I saw. I'm sure that Ann Cosma's best 9 were all taken with EduFamous people, right? Can we look up Ann Cosma's best 9?
I think she just sent it out tonight.
Okay. Did she really?
Yeah, I really believe so.
Okay, I bet you there's pictures of, so there's those pictures. And by the way, Ann Cosma and Coach Ben, we will keep harping on you. All you have to do is send us a tweet and say that you heard the show, and then we'll stop. But until then, we're just going to keep going. That you're just out there at Starbucks taking selfies. Yeah, I mean, they just go to a conference after conference with these people, right? I mean, oh my goodness. Can we have more rock star teacher? Oh, you know what? Let's not just have rock star teachers, Scott. Let's have rock stars Tosas. Let's have more Tosas out there, right? Let's have all those selfies.
I can tell you that 5 out of the 9 are selfies, John.
Okay, there we go. I think I've seen Ben Cogswell with like his kids. And,
John, congratulations.
What? What's wrong?
You made my worst 9 Instagram pics again for a second year.
Good. I'm glad. Are you still taking pictures of the back of my fat head and putting them in your worst 9? I love it. Thanks so much for giving the back of my thick skull some airtime on your Instagram feed.
I love you, John.
So anyway, yeah, I was just gonna say I've seen I feel like Ben Cogswell, like his kid could be like riding a bicycle for the first time, and he wouldn't even take a video. He would stop and lean his head in to the video. Look at that! Look at that!
So you saw his head and then like a wheel.
Yeah. It's like, come on, Ben, just enjoy the moment with your kid. You've got it on film. No, I got to put my face on there too.
That's a hard thing, John.
I know it's hard to do. Ben, and we love you. Hey, just listen to the show and tweet at me that you heard it. We're done. I'm cutting off. I'll probably move. Who would I move on to then? I don't know who I could move on to. Then.
I've got a few ideas, John.
Okay, well, all right. I've got some people. I have to say one of my favorite moments of the year, as long as we can end kind of with. But I think that one of my favorite tweet moments of the year was, you were in that thread, was when you do your walk up song kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so I had been working early that morning.
Hashtag walk up.
Yeah, your hashtag walk up song. And so
By the way, Rylan Lester is all over that, and I love
he
that.
He loves that, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And so anyway, I feel like I was working that day really early on a Little Bits webinar. And so I tweeted out the song that I was listening to when I finished kind of my notes, and Eric Sable said, "That is what you just chose."
Wait. Eric Sable?
Yes, I'm telling you.
John, one of my absolute, I should be thanking him, absolute favorite people in education, Eric Sable.
I know. So, I mean, he said, not only did I pick a killer walk-up song, he's like, that was top. He said it's top 5 all time for him, the song that I picked. And now he said, now that I think he even may have included you, we have just risen another level in the pantheon. And I don't know, what that pantheon is, but I just like the fact that that he said, don't you like that when I always I look to see if people follow the Grumpy Old playlist from the Grumpy Dozen. I've tweeted out a couple times. If we just get one follower, I'd be like, we did it. We got one follower that likes that, right? So we'll have to see. I don't know if people follow playlists too much on Spotify or other
that playlist we put out this week, John, is impeccable.
Yeah, so we'll see. We'll put up a new playlist. I feel like,
I mean, it has Drama Rama, anything on it.
Yeah, I mean, what else do you need?
Nothing.
Well, nothing, but we'll pick 11 other songs.
Nothing.
Right.
I don't need food. I need that song.
Right. I also put Miley Cyrus on there too, so
what?
That's good too.
I'm so sorry.
That's my new song.
I put Jay-Z,
I didn't put the Jay-Z song. That came in too late.
What?
I'm saving that for the next playlist. Sorry.
John.
You can't put an extra. See, Scott was cheating, and then he's like, wait, I want to put in one more. I want to put in one more old one, and then I want to put in one more old one and a bonus pick. And I'm like, no, it doesn't work that way. You've got to cut it off.
Digging for Windows from Zach De La Roca.
I did put that one on.
Yes.
Okay.
It's a good playlist, everybody.
It's a good playlist. So speaking of playlists, let's end the show with our tribute to the one and the only Miss Geeky Teach, Sarah Bobby Boucher, formerly of Las Vegas, where the Imagine Dragons are from, but now she's in New Mexico. I don't know if she likes it in New Mexico as much, but she likes it. Okay, so we have decided to pick 6. I actually just picked the titles really quickly. So 6 Imagine Dragons songs, because Sarah, Miss Geeky Teach, by the way, is completely obsessed with them. She one time told me in Las Vegas that she's like, oh my gosh, I ran into the lead singer, whatever the lead singer's name is, at yoga. And I'm like, get out of here, right? Well, so then she, but then she finds out from her hairdresser's nail person that's friends with his sister, the lead singer's sister, where he does yoga. So it was totally intentional. So she's obsessed, basically, right?
Wow. That's stalkerish.
It is stalkerish. So basically, we say that when we say she's obsessed, we mean that she might be a little psycho. So when you've got this
one, we love you, Sarah.
But we do love you, Sarah. See, this is what we do. By the way, can I just tell you that Canada Chris and Nicole Carter were just all over me for the last overshare comment. She's like, I don't even share pictures of my Instapot. Oh man, they were all up. I said,
you know who shared Instapot pictures this week?
Canada Chris.
He did. Yep. Nicole, come on.
I know, Nicole.
Just own it, Nicole.
Okay, there we go.
Honestly, Nicole, I love you. You're amazing, but own it.
Only overshare is what you're saying? Look, I'm not. Look at me. I've got my hands up. There you go. My hands are up in 2018. Listen to me.
Look back at your feed for the whole year, not just the last week.
What me? Okay, so we're gonna do some song titles.
It was kind of you, John.
Okay, well, I work with them. All right, so I told him it's up for fodder. I said I also spoke very highly of her when I talked with Tara Linney, and I'll put that podcast up pretty soon. So I said it works 100%. Both two-way street. Okay, so
that was awesome. I love Nicole. I love what she does. Sometimes she overshares.
Okay, so here we go. So speaking of this,
Nicole, wait, no, I want to get on this, John, just a little bit. Spilling eggs is not an undershare; it's an overshare.
spilling eggs is not a shareable moment.
It's not.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
So speaking of that, by the way, I didn't buy an Instapot, but I bought an egg cooker the other day. Like it's supposed to hard boil eggs in like 15 minutes. Okay, so here we go. So our first song is my new favorite song. It's Thunder and the Lightning. Feel the lightning and the thunder. No, we should really, Scott, at some point, I think for the next one, I feel like make up an EdTech song to Thunder. But what word goes with rigor? Because it'd be like, feel the rigor and the testing and the rigor. Oh, I might have just got it right there.
There you go, John.
Feel the rigor of the testing, standardized testing,
Diane
and
Main,
the rigor.
working out right now with you.
I know. That's where I learned it from, was Diane Main. Okay, so Thunder and Lightning. You know that song. Who does that, what EdTech person does that remind you of? What edgy famous person?
Thunder and the Lightning?
Thunder and the Lightning.
Who brings thunder, John?
Who brings the thunder from down under?
John Carippo.
Oh, John Carippo. That's a good one. He brings the thunder.
Thunder and the lightning.
Thunder and the lightning. Carippo with the thunder. All right, so here we go. The next song is Believer. It's that one goes, hey, you pick me up, believer.
Yeah.
Believer. That's a new one from the new album. Who's a believer?
Well, I think John, who do you think is a believer?
You know what? I was going to say, I always like to bring up my friend Sarah, the teacher. I feel like she's a believer. I feel like she believes in the best of everyone, which is something that I am incapable of. I don't believe in the best in everyone. So I feel like she does, and that's why I really like her. I also feel like Canada Chris is very positive. I feel like he's a believer. I feel like he
edgy match with Sarah, and
I feel like Canada Chris and Sarah should edgy match it on up, and they're there.
Is he Arizona Chris or Canada Chris? I'm confused.
He's Canada. Well, he's from Canada. He's Canadian. He was talking about Boxing Day the other day.
Okay.
So yeah, but he still owns a home in Arizona.
Gotcha.
I don't know. Has he got one foot out the door? I don't know. It's kind of up in the. He's like, I'm coming home to Arizona, and I'm like, oh, you know what? You know where my home is, Scott? I'm coming home to Oregon. That's my home.
I thought you were saying Austin. Sorry,
Matt Kearney. Matt Kearney. Look it up, Oregon. Okay, here we go. So, how about the next one? I've got a lot of thoughts on this one, but it's your turn. Demons.
No, John, I'm going to let you take Demons.
No, I can't take Demons.
All the way.
Who has demons?
Oh, God, a lot of people have demons.
There's a lot. I have
You
demons.
and I both have demons.
Yes, we have demons. We're not saying that we don't. We're not saying that we're not. I'm not a believer, but I do have demons for sure. And I can bring the thunder because after I have a bowl of chili. Demons.
Wow, that's a tough one.
How does that song even go? I forget how that goes.
I don't know.
Oh, it's when my demons high.
Yeah, that's right.
It's when my demons high. Okay.
Keep singing, Johnny.
Don't get too close. It's when my demons high. It's when my demons high. Who has demons? Who turns into like a Jekyll and Hyde?
Oh man. Oh gosh, I can't even.
All right, I'm going to say this, Scott, and this will make you laugh.
Do it.
Ready? It's Jeff Bradbury. Jeff Bradbury is demon. He will be the nicest, sweetest person, but man, if you screw up his podcast, he will lay into you. I know, because I've been there.
You, as a teacher, try to make a decision on what you want to use in your classroom with EdTech. Mm-hmm. You will crucify you.
So I'm going to give Jeff Bradbury shout out to TeacherCast.
Well, there you
go. Radioactive. Whoa. Okay, so who's Radioactive of the Edufamous?
Edufamous Radioactive. Oh gosh, that means they're like.
He's waking up and feeling in a bone.
I have a hard time not saying Erin Klein.
Erin Klein's Radioactive?
Yeah, she's
okay. There we go.
Like she's infecting a lot of people with classroom like culture and
She is.
setups and stuff like
She's
that.
radioactive.
She's radioactive.
Radioactive. Aaron Klein. Kleinspiration. Radioactive. Okay.
Allison Anderson loves that one, by the way.
Okay, here we go. On Top of the World. That's the one that goes, I'm on top of the world.
Oh, George Couros.
Oh, yeah, George Couros. I was going to say Tony Vincent.
Okay, done.
Tony Vincent and George Couros. You know who else?
So you better be liking this segment.
Shelley Terrell.
Shelley Terrell.
I feel like with Savvy, she's on top of the world right now.
She is on top of the world with Jake, and just life is good.
Life is good. It's always good. I
love it for them.
They have good pictures. Do they overshare?
No.
I don't feel like they overshare.
No, not at all.
I feel like they have. I feel like Jake and I are on the same.
Yeah, for sure.
With that. All right. So then
Jake's awesome. Shelley's awesome. I'm 100% behind them.
Yes. If you follow Jake Duncan, if you haven't followed him on Twitter, you just have to take out all the vowels in Jake Duncan, and that's his Twitter handle.
And add in some weird lightning bolts and stuff.
Right. Add in some emojis too, because he really likes it. All right, last one. I know this has been a long segment. It's time. Because it's time to finish the show.
It's really time to finish.
That's my favorite song from Imagine Dragons. It's time to wake up. You know what? It's time for administrators to wake up. How about that? All administrators that are sitting in the dark right now, it's time. Wake up and start making a change, homeboys and homegirls. Come on.
Yes, it is. It is, John, and we've talked about this a lot, and we believe in the administrators, and we know that they can make an impact. We just need to see them take a stand. Yeah, take that stand, take that step, do whatever it is, but don't wait any longer.
I appreciate you, dude.
I appreciate you too, man. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. I feel like we deserve a little. Oh wait, hold on, my game's not working here. My cheesy sound effect app has too many commercials, but here. I feel like we deserve a golf clap for that one.
We do deserve a golf clap.
And we also deserve this. Those are all the administrators that are ticked off at us right now. Booing us.
Right. They can't be booing us. They love us.
We're right. We're
not ripping on admin. We're ripping on ineffective.
We know we know there's pressure. We know there's pressure. We know that there's things. Sure. We know that there's bad rules, but we have to work within the system to start to change those rules and change the minds of the people.
We got to make that change.
It's not Imagine Dragons.
At the educator in the mirror.
You got to be the rigor and the testing.
This is
testing
really
and the rigor. Thanks for listening, everybody. Have a good New Year.